A few months ago, I reacted to the channel Favour Abara after she posted some reactions to some Eurovision songs and left a mind-blowing comment like this.
Hey, Montenegro. Who decided to name a country Montenegro? When were they founded? Was it a joke on black people?
Since then, people have been leaving comments such as, "You won't believe what she said about Brexit, the UK gun laws and NHS," that I felt that I needed to give this channel another look and react to what she's been saying this time. Now usually I like to do one video on a person and then walk away from them, but occasionally there are individuals that need more than one video, and this channel definitely falls into that category. So let's get started on her video on her reaction to Brexit.
There's a lot going on, so let's talk about Brexit briefly. First, how did we get here? In the UK, voters for UKIP, the UK Independence Party, grew in number over the last few elections. Now, because the United Kingdom uses a terrible first-past-the-post voting system, UKIP, rather than getting a proportional number of seats in Parliament, largely drained votes from the Conservative Party. So in the 2015 election, Conservatives promised to hold an in-or-out referendum on the EU if they won.
Okay, first question. When you say the Independent Party, is that just the American Democratic Party, or is an independent party like the middle ground? Like you have the right wing, the left wing, and then the independents who are in the middle.
Tell me that again.
Okay, first question. When you say the Independent Party, is that just the American Democratic Party, or is an independent party like the middle ground? Like you have the right wing, the left wing, and then the independents who are in the middle.
No, it's not the American Democratic Party. UKIP stands for the United Kingdom Independence Party, so the clue is in the name. It's got nothing to do with American Democrats. Also, our system has two major parties, the Conservatives and Labour, and also smaller parties like UKIP, the Greens, Liberal Democrats, etc, etc. To call UKIP like the American Democrats is just pure ignorance. Now, I don't know much about American politics, but if I was to do a video about it, or even react to a video about politics of a different country, I would do a little bit of research first, because it makes you look less stupid when you make your statements.
The Conservatives did win in what was, by the way, the most unrepresentative election in UK history. Thanks again, first past the post. Click here for more details. And the promised referendum was scheduled. With huge voter turnout, Brexit won 52 to 48. So what happens next? Well,
okay. 52% versus 48. That's a small margin for such a big change. 52% versus 48%. Oh man. But I guess the same could be said about our presidencies, whether they're 51% versus 49. That's a small leeway and it's a major change, but still, man. But for those who were opposed to Brexit, I feel like they were enraged when this happened.
Yes, it was a small margin, and unfortunately the people who wanted to leave got the majority. Now, I didn't like the result, and I don't think we should have left on such a small margin of error, but that's a story for another time. Also, the American system has a two-party system, so one party gets 52% and the other gets 48%, then it's classed as a win to the person who's got the majority.
Has a law called Article 50 saying countries can exit. Basically, it's a press here to leave button. But the Conservative Prime Minister who promised upon Brexit victory to press it immediately instead resigned immediately, leaving the UK politically doing nothing. There was talk of a...
Who is that? Is that Boris or the lady who was before him? That's messed up.
No, that was David Cameron, who wanted us to remain in the EU, and because he didn't get the result, he ran away like a coward. But to say, was that Johnson or the lady before him? Just shows her ignorance of the whole of the Brexit saga. And again, a small little Google search wouldn't have hurt her in this case.
Oh man.
To press it immediately,
I'm out.
Resigned immediately, leaving the UK politically doing nothing. There was talk of a second Brexit no, but seriously, it might actually happen if you vote for it, this one's legally binding referendum, or re-electing Parliament. But then the new UK Prime Minister was appointed and she said that wouldn't happen. Presumably, the UK...
Okay, two questions. So this was even before Boris Johnson, before the lady who was before him. The person who peaced out was before both of them. But also, he just said something about whether y'all would vote just for a definitive leaving of Brexit or just to reinstate Parliament.
No, it wasn't to reinstate Parliament. People said that the vote wasn't legally binding, as it was only advisory, but Theresa May turned round and said no, she was going to honour the result of the election.
So, speculation time. Acting as a Brexit bookie, I'm putting 15% odds on the chance of maximum Brexit occurring, where the UK is a fully independent nation with total control over her trade deals and immigration and law.
Okay. Trade has been the biggest thing y'all have been commenting about in my comment section in regards to Brexit. But I don't see... I mean, yeah, it's not... I wouldn't say you broke a deal, but the relationship with you in Europe now is definitely different. But I don't see why that should ruin your allyship or trading abilities with certain countries. And on top of that, a big question I have, why the heck do y'all have a pound and not a euro? I feel like you should have the pound now that you've left the European Union, but how... Everybody else uses the euro, so why do y'all use the pound? Someone answer.
We had the pound over here because we didn't want to go into the euro system. Now, say for argument's sake we left the EU and had the euro system, we couldn't just change back. Being part of Europe is why we were offered the chance to go into the euro system, not because we were a member of the EU.
Someone answer.
The UK is to the EU as Brazil is to the EU, just another country. If that probability seems low, what with the new pro-Brexit Prime Minister and with the required going against the will of the people and all, here's my reasoning why. Speculation the first. The Conservatives didn't want the UK to really leave the EU. Though they campaigned for the referendum, they were officially neutral on the issue and I suspect privately against. If you think the Conservatives are the more business-friendly party, the UK leaving the EU would be bad news for many businesses that prefer larger economic blocs.
Yeah.
Like banks.
Okay, that does make sense. But you have to remember, Britain is very powerful as well. But then again, the European Union has all the numbers. So who would you rather be working with, allied with? That's a really tough decision. And also, I keep forgetting, not everybody in the world has a democracy. Like, there's communists, there's democratic republics, there's monarchs, there's dictatorships all around the world. I feel privileged to be in a democratic country, but that's not the case for a lot of these countries that this guy's talking about.
Just because a country has a monarchy does not mean they are not democratic. The UK is a democratic country because we vote for our leaders to be in charge, because the royal family no longer has any power. There are several European countries that have a monarchy and are still classed as being a democratic state, such as the UK, Belgium, Denmark, Netherlands, to name a few.
I don't think I would want a queen or king. No human is more important or more better than me. You're just another human being. You're not my king, you're not my queen. You don't rule over me. I feel like that's what a rebel would say and I'd be assassinated.
But you do have someone ruling over you though. They may not be a king or queen, but they still got the power to change your life. The only difference is, if you don't like what they've done in their term, you can vote them out, whereas a king and queen are there for their entire lifetimes.
Scotland immediately said that if the UK leaves the EU, Scotland isn't coming. She voted to stay, so she will. If maximum Brexit occurs, I put 97% odds on Scotland leaving the UK and...
Whoa. That just blew my mind, because the United Kingdom is Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and England. Those 4 countries. And Brexit has happened in 2020. Again, this is from 2016. As of today, Brexit has happened. So therefore, how can Scotland still be a part of the United Kingdom if they're still a part of the European Union and Britain is not? Just because y'all are on the coast, by definition, you're not one United Kingdom.
Scotland is part of the UK and is not currently a member of the EU. Now, if Scotland manages to get its independence from the rest of the UK, it could reapply membership to the EU. I always find it amusing that she can't tell the difference between England, Britain and the United Kingdom. Anyway, moving on to another one of her videos where she reacts to the UK gun laws.
The way I feel about guns, in the perspective as an American, they are kind of a necessity. Whether it's just for recreational use, hunting, protection of your family, I feel like guns, especially in our culture, are very important. Now, I think that guns should be regulated, obviously, but I believe everyone should have a right to a gun.
I don't know why Americans seem to have this mindset that guns are necessary. You don't need to own a gun. We can't own guns in this country unless it's special circumstances, and I think this country is better for it. Now, before someone says, but you have a load of knife crime. Yes, we do, but imagine how much worse it will be if we all could own a gun. Just because an antiquated constitution says you have the right to bear arms does not mean you should. Actually, let's take a look at what those words say. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. During the Revolutionary War, militia was a group of men who banded together to protect communities and towns. The Constitution wasn't written to give you the right to own a handgun for home defence, and especially not to own assault rifles. It was written so men could form a small force to protect their towns. Militias aren't needed in the USA anymore, so that law is now antiquated and no longer relevant. So no one really has the right to have a firearm in their house.
Without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Guns are heavily restricted in the UK, but contrary to what many people believe, including many Brits, owning a firearm is not illegal.
Ah. Yeah, I thought it was illegal to have one over there. Like, no one, only specific people had one. Even your police don't have guns. That's crazy, though. Why would a civilian have a gun, but not your police?
UK police do have guns, but just a specific number of them do, such as the anti-terrorist unit. Over 7,000 officers in the UK are authorised to use firearms. I love how she's so wrong about the basic facts.
Yeah.
Firearms control in the UK is among the toughest in the world, and firearms offences continue to make up less than 0.2% of recorded crime. As you would expect, with such low gun ownership, gun-related deaths are incredibly rare. According to the Geneva Declaration of Armed Violence and Development, it stands at 1 death per million people per year.
Holy heck, that's insane. You guys know the issues we've been having over here, so one out of a million deaths caused by a gun. I guess it would, but even so, just because you have less guns doesn't mean there would automatically be less gun violence.
Did you not listen to what he just said? It's 1 death per million caused by a gun. How is that hard for you to grasp that we have less gun crime in this country because less people in the UK own a gun? It's not rocket science. And yes, we do know about America's gun problem, because every time there's a high school shooting, we hear about it. And we can't understand why you won't toughen up your laws to prevent this from keep happening.
So who, in general, can obtain a firearm? To possess or purchase a
16-year-olds.
firearm, an individual in the UK must be assessed as not posing a threat to public safety by the police, who act as the licensing authority.
Huh. Okay, this may be far-fetched to say, but the police, to me, the British police are more of a, like, hall monitor, I guess you could say. They're just there to keep the peace. You don't necessarily call them for every situation, or, you know, they're just, like, there to monitor, I guess. They're not there to actually enforce things.
Yes, they are there to enforce the law. She actually called the police a hall monitor. I know this girl is dumb, but even for her, that's the most stupidest thing she's ever said. Also, her blurting out 16-year-olds when asked who can legally own a gun in the UK was just ignorant. 16-year-olds in this country can't legally drink in pubs. What makes her think they could legally own a firearm at 16? I'm going to leave the video there because she can't fall into any more stupidity than she already has done. But I want to show you a quick clip of hers that scares the crap out of me.
The reason I'm even interested in the UK healthcare system is, as some of you know, I'm going into nursing school this upcoming fall, and I plan to do travel nursing, and the UK or England is somewhere on my list that I would want to travel to and work as a nurse.
Apparently, she has enrolled as a nurse in her country, but I can't see her becoming a full-time nurse because she is that dumb. Also, I wouldn't want her to come to this country to learn nursing. Imagine waking up in a hospital ward to have her looming over you. That would scare the shit out of me. Also, in the same video, she gave this point about waiting times.
The US healthcare system is responsible for population's wants and needs. The UK healthcare is financially constrained, which will result in wants to be constrained. This is seen in the form of a long waiting list for non-essential medical care, which is required by people in the UK, and obviously this is met by long waiting times.
But who decides, okay, you're not as important, wait in line. Oh, you're not as important, I'll see you next week. Like, if I'm having an issue, I want to be seen right then and there. Even if, like, someone else says, I broke my nose, okay, but there's someone having a heart attack. My nose is still broken. Like, obviously it's not as dire as someone literally having a heart attack, but I need to be seen just as much. Like, I don't know. The waiting time is kind of iffy. Ugh.
A broken nose isn't life-threatening though, as someone, say for example, coming in suffering from a heart attack. So of course you're going to wait longer for something non-life-threatening, as no one has ever died from a broken nose before. If that's her mentality on how waiting times operate in this country, or even in her country, is she fit to be in that industry? Anyway, that's more samples of Favour Abara's mindset. I'm not going to do any more videos on this person because I've sacrificed enough of my brain cells watching her videos. So what do you think to all? Is she really this dumb, or is it really an act? Because I can't tell anymore. Anyway, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section. And if you're new to my channel, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.